Good evening, and it's time for the news on Times Television, TTV, and here with me, Ronald Mpaso. First, the headlines. Youth Decide campaign calls for action on revelations of resource abuse at the National Economic Empowerment Fund. Denial of COVID-19 positive results and failure to adhere to health advice could cost more lives. And Mzuzu University to hold its 22nd graduation ceremony virtually. We have these and other stories. Stay with us. In our first story, President Lazarus Chakwera has warned that those found to have abused funds meant for the fight against COVID-19 will face the law as probes continue into suspected abuse of the funds. He has since directed that the Secretary to the President and Cabinet suspend some heads of clusters responsible for various roles in the fight due to their failure to follow instructions with regard to expenditure reports on the use of funds. During his weekly address to the nation just moments ago, the president observed that most of the clusters were poorly headed, saying nearly 12 had not even started submitting reports. President Chakwera has also announced the removal of Commissioner for the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, James Chiusiwa, and co-chairperson of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. John Puka. Puka has been replaced by Dr. Chalamina Nkoma. During the address, Chakwera decried high levels of impunity within the government system, asking his deputy, Saulos Chilima, to lead a review of contract designs for government employees in order to address the situation. Youth under the Youth Decide campaign have asked the Anti-Corruption Bureau and other prosecuting agencies to swiftly act on the findings of an audit which revealed abuse of resources at the National Economic Empowerment Fund. A central internal audit unit report exposed deep-rooted rot at the fund, where officers are alleged to have abused loans meant for the poor. Following the audit, National Economic Empowerment Fund fired top officials involved. Feston Malekezo has a report.
On Friday, ACB, through his senior public relations manager, Egrit Ndala, said they are yet to come up with an official position on the matter. But team leader of the Youth Decide campaign, Charles Kadolweka, on Friday described the decision to fire 4 top NIF managers following the special audit report as a welcome board decision. The 4 are Chief Executive Officer Mavis Mangulenje, Head of Credit Edwin Visabwe, Head of Operations Alexon Mwakula, and Head of Finance Hilarious Nampota. Kajoloweka said the Bureau should also investigate the recruitment process of all NIF officers and take appropriate actions. ACB's Ndala said they cannot just jump onto the case, saying they have to find out what other prosecuting agencies, such as Fiscal Police, are doing on the matter. The investigation by the government's Central Internal Audit Unit was conducted from August 3, 2020 to September 25, 2020 and uncovered a criminal syndicate involving officers from various departments at the NIF head office in Lilongwe and Luonde branch in Majinga. The syndicate, according to the report, allegedly defrauded NIF 53.3 million kwacha through loan disbursements to fraudulent beneficiaries, but it was expected the amount would go up.
Due to the impact of COVID-19, Mzuzu University has announced that it will hold its 22nd graduation ceremony virtually on the 26th of this month. In a statement released yesterday, Mzuni Registrar Yona Mungwira said the graduation will be presided over by President Lazarus Chakwera, who will also be installed as Chancellor of the university. Feston Malekezo has a report.
In the statement, Ngwira says the ceremony will be aired live on televisions and radio stations, apart from being streamed live online on Mzuzu University website and Facebook page. According to Ngwira, all COVID-19 prevention measures during the live hosting of the congregation will be strictly observed. Since this will be a visual ceremony, there will be no rehearsals for graduates for the congregation. As such, Ngwira adds that only those officials with direct roles and responsibilities, thus a pair of male and female student representatives from postgraduate, open, distance and e-learning and face-to-face, will be part of the live hosting audience. The students expected to graduate are about 1,000 and completed their studies after December 2019. Their representative, Andrew Maliro, said they are happy.
We're very happy because this is what we've been pushing for so long, since 2019. So, yeah, now that finally they've bowed down to the demands, we are very happy, and that's all we can say.
The students gave Mzuni up to February 12 to release details of their graduation ceremony, alleging the institution was playing games.
The government has rejected a demand by self-upgraded teachers who wanted to be automatically promoted to new grades in light of their higher qualifications. Through the Ministry of Education, government has said it will only follow legal procedures when promoting the teachers. The ministry has also revealed that it will not promote special needs teachers because they do not have subjects of specialization in secondary schools, but said they can only be promoted by their respective councils. Sam Kalimira with a report.
In a meeting that lasted over 2 hours at Ministry's headquarters in Lilongwe on Friday, Principal Secretary for the Ministry of Education, Chikonda Musa, told the teachers that the ministry will in March this year release an advert for grade J and I vacancies, and teachers that are qualified to teach special subjects should apply. Minister of Education Public Relations Officer Chikondi Chimala confirmed about the meeting but denied to divulge more details of the meeting, saying the ministry has proper channels of presenting its information. But self-upgraded teachers team leader Vasco Cosmas said the meeting did not yield positive outcomes on the teachers' demands.
This is not the end of anything. We have accepted the government response, and we are now to communicate to teachers, and after that we will again visit the Teachers Union of Malawi to see how best they will take the issue from here.
Among others, government has also told the teachers that they will not promote theologians because the ministry has enough theology teachers already. The ministry also said they would not promote teachers that obtained their certificates from universities that are not accredited by National Council for Higher Education. The ministry also reminded the teachers that according to the new policy, minimum qualification to teach in secondary school is first degree. Last year, Ombudsman Martha Chizuma wrote the Ministry of Education saying the automatic promotions which were done in 2019 were against government's policy. The country has over 2,000 self-upgraded teachers who want promotions.
Director of Health and Social Services at the Lilongwe District Council, Alinafe Mbewe Tambala, has warned health workers in the district against abusing COVID-19 donations. Tambala was speaking at Area 18 Health Center in Lilongwe today when members of the Hindu community in Lilongwe under the BAPS Swamirayan Santa donated masks and hand sanitizer. Masks, hand sanitizer, vitamins C and D, and zinc worth 1.2 million kwacha. More in this report by Taonga Sabola.
According to Dr. Dambala, currently the social media is awash with stories of a possible abuse of COVID-19 funds, adding that health workers need to be careful when handling the donations.
So please let's take care of these things. And please let's make sure that we tell people these things are free. That's why I'm saying all these things. Because if we receive donations, and then the next thing that in the community someone comes and we're selling, we're just putting ourselves in trouble. And when trouble comes, especially when I say these things, when trouble comes, I wash my hands, I'll say, but I said these things, so the ones that are doing those things must face the consequences. So please, if we're taking the masks to the communities, let's not sell.
Area 18 Health Center Chief Clinical In Charge Keston Masiano thanked BAPS for the donation.
We all know we are in this pandemic that has hit everybody, everybody knows about it, and as a health facility, we cater for a lot of people. The catchment population is over 250,000. You can see it's a very big catchment area. So amongst those patients coming in, some are suspected COVID cases that we are also seeing. So all these, especially the masks, since it's a mandatory that we have to put on masks in order to combat this pandemic, and also the drugs that we have given us, they will go a long way to assist us in managing our patients.
A member of BAPS, Hiren Patel, said they decided to donate the items as one way of helping government in the fight against the pandemic.
As of now, we have donated today kit contains a mask, there is a sanitizer, and some supplements, vitamins, which is vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc as well, which can assist the immune system. It's an immunomodulator that can assist a lot during this COVID pandemic.
BAPS is a spiritual volunteer-driven organization dedicated to improving society through individual growth by fostering the Hindu ideals of faith, unity, and selfless service.
The Society of Medical Doctors in Malawi has urged the citizenry to support the health system amid continued challenges in the fight against COVID-19. The Society's president, Dr. Victor Miti, says the government alone cannot provide all the needed resources. This came up when Kamuzu Academy alumni of 1993 donated various items to Kamuzu Central Hospital in the capital city yesterday towards the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Matthews Cassandra has more in this report.
Dr. Miti stressed that the government is doing its best, but the healthcare system is facing several challenges that still need the citizens to support. He then commended individuals and organizations that have been donating to different health facilities in the country.
You know that we can only help people when we have the resources. And if the government can't provide enough resources, then you have to look for alternative ways. It doesn't mean that the government is failing, but it's just the gravity of the situation. So we're very happy that people are still taking it upon themselves to do something little for their country. I think this is a very good development, and this is the speed that can take us forward.
Kamuzu Academy class of 1993 representative Leo Kasode said the alumni decided to donate because the COVID-19 has affected everyone.
First, it was a call from the director from here of the needs for equipment at the hospital. The second one is because of what coronavirus is doing to the nation and to everyone, we thought we could contribute something.
Pirani Kabango is the principal nursing officer at Kamuzu Central Hospital.
You know, as the hospital, we need these things, like the wheelchairs. They are going to help us in moving the patients, maybe from one ward to another one. As you know, these patients, when they are maybe the suspects, they are put somewhere at isolation. And for them to take them in the car, we need to wheel them using the wheelchairs.
Apart from the wheelchairs, the alumni also donated 10 oximeters and 15 glucometers.
Chiradzulu COVID-19 Relief Fund has donated COVID-19 relief items worth 3 million kwacha to Chiradzulu District Hospital to help in fighting coronavirus in the district. The organization's chairperson, Focus Sikaloka, says the funds used to purchase items were mobilized from sons, daughters, and allies of Chiradzulu district. He says the key remaining challenges are a shortage of oxygen cylinders and running water, which need urgent assistance from well-wishers.
Now, the water that they have comes from